Let me jump in here because the starting fives here. I want you to compare the starting fives from a decade ago. You see Steph, he was 30.
Come on,
They're going to be averaging 30 a game.
Don't do this.
Klay Thompson, 22.
Don't do this.
This is a great starting five for the Golden State Warriors. Draymond was up to 14 points per game. He's shooting over 38% from the three-point line. But Jalen Williams hasn't played yet. He's a 22-point-per-game scorer, and he was showing out in the postseason. Lou Dort could lock down, defend anybody. Then you get Chet and Hartenstein. The difference to me is the bigs, because their bigs are a little more versatile, but this would have been a great 5-on-5 pickup game.
Don't do this. I got one question for you.
I'm sorry.
I got one question. Look at this graphic. Tell me, out of that starting five, who was there the year before? In 2014, 2015. Out of that starting five, who was on the team?
Everybody.
Exactly.
Same thing. Continuity.
Exactly. It's continuity. You literally dropped the two words I wanted to say, and I'm happy you said it. Continuity and chemistry. It doesn't matter who you have on the other end. It doesn't matter that Lou Dort isn't scoring over 10 points per game. It matters that they know each other. You can have each other's backs because you've been in practice for 2 straight seasons, and you've locked in, you've bought in, you know how you want to play. And they have an identity. And right now, you don't have that same continuity right now on the Warriors side. There's been a little bit, there's continuity. Of course, Draymond and Steph are always going to be a tandem. But Jimmy's new in this technically, right? You're still looking at Jonathan Kuminga getting back into this mix as a starter, as someone that's contributing way more. You're still looking at the big in this situation, not knowing, who's going to be the person that's going to step up each night. So there's not the same level of continuity. I'm not even trying to compare these two teams today, because right now I don't think that that's a fair comparison. But looking at that team, that is why they execute so well. They've been with each other. They've been in the trenches with each other, and they know each other.
And what I see is the Oklahoma City Thunder. I think they've come into the season the same way the Warriors came into that season, winning a championship. You feel like you've been disrespected a little bit in the summer, and they come out with the same intensity, saying we're going to try to run it back again. And so everything, defensive, offensive, they've been so locked in inside the season. Right now, they're looking like the favorites for the championship this year. But Bonte, I'll say this: do you remember who won the game November 18, 2018? What's today? November
11th.
November 11th, 2018?
Yeah.
You remember who won that game that day?
Who won that game?
Yeah, it doesn't matter because it's November. All right, still the start of the season. All right, everybody just hold on for the Warriors. This is a lot of time for the Warriors to get better for the season to go on. But this is a measuring stick right now.
You know what, though? You're right. Doc Rivers had talked. A lot of people talk saying, you guys didn't play the best teams, blah, 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 blah. You guys go out there and win 73. A lot of people thought, OKC, they're not going to go back-to-back. And SGA said it. We're playing like a team that lost in the second round of the playoffs. We felt like we didn't play well against Indiana in the NBA Finals. So they're a team that's looking like they have one goal, and that's to hoist another Larry O'Brien trophy. On the positive, the Warriors did have a season-high 16 steals. However, they're now 3-1 in the first game of back-to-backs this season. We asked the fans earlier today for our Toyota poll question of the evening. How many wins will the Warriors have during this 6-game road trip? Well, 28% of you were wrong. Not possible for to get a 6. Maybe 4 and 5. 46% voted on 4 and 5. 2 and 3 voted on 21%. And just 5% out there. A lot of optimistic Warrior fans believe that they can win some games on this road trip. But let's hear from this demolition, or about this demolition, from Steve Kerr, head coach of the Golden State Warriors.
Well, we had 12 turnovers at halftime, and they didn't feel like they were forced. They just, from the defense. I mean, obviously OKC's got a great defense and a great team, but felt like mostly decision-making. And so we've got to make better decisions if we're going to be a good team, and I've got to do a better job of, putting our guys in position to do so.
I mean, how alarming is this performance?
Well, I could feel we weren't in a great place, coming back from Indiana and Milwaukee, that you could just feel that things weren't quite clicking, and that I thought that continued. I mean, we got a couple of wins in there, but we're not playing well, and we haven't been playing well for, really since, the second week of the season. So it doesn't feel right, what's happening right now on the floor, the way we're playing, the way we're approaching things. Guys are, they're trying. It's not like it's a lack of effort, but we're not crashing. All the things we did at the end of last year when we got good, take care of the ball, crash, create good shots for each other, win the possession battle. We're not doing any of those things right now.
I mean, those are mostly kind of like offensive things. I mean, is that the end of the floor that you feel like is going the most?
Well, it's always connected. You know, I know I've said this to you guys, but when we got Jimmy last year, our defense skyrocketed, and it wasn't because we changed schemes, and it wasn't because Jimmy was like Dikembe Mutombo out there. It's just we took care of the ball, and the game connected. The game made sense, and you know, the crashing. Getting offensive rebounds, it dramatically helps your defense. I mean, you gain extra possessions, you jam transition. First half, we didn't crash at all. I think we had one offensive rebound. So I got to do a better job. I've got to find, you know, the keys that can get us to getting some confidence and some rhythm back.
Steve, how'd you feel about Steph's return tonight?
Well, it's great to see him out there. Didn't surprise me that he wasn't sharp. You know, he hasn't done anything in a week, and other than a couple workouts the last 2 days. So glad to have him back, obviously, and glad that he could get his feet wet and hopefully find his rhythm here soon.
Do you expect Draymond and Al to both play tomorrow night?
I expect Al to play. Draymond would be questionable. You know, he has played in every game to this point, and frankly, I think he needs a rest. So tomorrow might be a night where we do that. I've got to talk to him and the performance team.
You're going to see more length and athleticism the rest of this trip. Just what are the keys to countering and beating things?
Well, being solid with the ball. So, you know, we had so many one-hand, left-hand fling passes tonight that were turnovers. Like, the game is about being solid and about fundamental play. And you know, you watch Jimmy out there, and he plays off 2 feet, and you know, he never gets out of control. And we can't, you know, come out and be fundamentally lacking and expect to beat the best team in the league on their home floor. So we got to find a way to be more solid, and you know, we'll obviously assess everything like we always do, and we'll see where that goes.
To follow with that on Jimmy.
These stats do not look pretty, Fezzi and Zena. Team stat comparison tonight. OKC shoots over 50%. Warriors are giving up 49% on the season. So that's going to go up 44.5% from the 3-point line. And you see those turnovers. We discuss this every single night. Okay, they had a season high in steals, 16. That's a positive. You got to the free throw line 29 times. That's a positive. But it's the turnovers, 21 turnovers a night. They give up 27 points off those turnovers. And responsible for 5 of those turnovers was Jonathan Kuminga. And I thought he got off to a good start tonight, cutting to the basket, found Steph on a nice cut. But he committed 5 turnovers tonight, 13 points. He was 6 of 9 from the floor. But again, nobody had it offensively. Not a good rhythm. Look, again, he got off to a good start. I like that pull-up jumper right there, Zena. But it's the turnovers. You have to take care of the basketball.
Got to take care of the basketball, and also you got to continue to be aggressive, even when you're making those turnovers. Early in the game, Kuminga missed a switch out on a rub screen that basically ended up with, I believe, Isaiah Hartenstein wide open under the basket. And I love the fact that Steve Kerr kept him in to allow him to kind of make up for that mistake. And you saw him early in that game make up for those mistakes by attacking the basket, getting to the rim, but he missed some layups. I think he missed 2 early layups. And I don't know if that impacted him at all, but you saw eventually floor would be cleared out for Jonathan Kuminga, and he wasn't taking it. He was trying to find opportunities to pass out to his teammates. I would have loved to see him continue to be aggressive. 6 of 9 is not bad, right? That's not a bad, that's efficient, right? But you just still want him. This is his game. A game like this with the athleticism that was out there, for him to be more aggressive. Wish we could have seen a little bit more of that from him.
This is a game tailor-made to let Jonathan Kuminga to thrive and to eat on the floor. I thought with all the double teaming with Steph on the top of the floor, that JK had the clear side on the back to get the ball and to attack. One thing that went wrong was the Warriors kept turning the ball over. When you have 21 turnovers and 23 assists, that means you turn the ball over just as much as you got it to your teammates for a layup. And that right there is the way OKC plays. They speed you up. They take you out of your comfort zone. And I thought JK never got into a rhythm. But what I want to see more of on this road trip is JK just taking that. The fact that Steph has a guy, Cason Wallace is on Steph, and he was glued to him he was stuck to him like glue. Take that space and eat it and go create a shot for yourself. This is the whole point of you being the guy that's the most athletic on the floor. I thought 5 turnovers is too much for being in a game like this because you're giving layups to the other team. And those are shots that you could take. I thought he was being very passive and trying to create shots for his teammates, yes. But you got to start first by being the guy that attacks, make the defense respect you, collapse, and then you could create for other guys.
Yeah, didn't attempt a 3-point shot tonight, but he was 6 of 9, but it's the 5 turnovers he'll want to clean up. And then we get to Draymond Green, and Draymond Green didn't have his best effort. You just heard from Steve Kerr. Probably going to get the night off tomorrow night against Victor Wembanyama and the San Antonio Spurs. But tonight, Draymond Green, just 3 points, 4 assists. In a game like this, Fezzi, felt like he could be more aggressive shooting the ball. We saw it last Friday in Denver where he made 5 threes. But OKC was trying to pass. That was a great recovery.
No, but look at that. That's what they do. OKC, they frustrate you out of what you're trying to run. The Warriors have the Draymond Steph pick and roll that has been working for years and years. We talked about the 2015-16 team. It was unstoppable. Now you have OKC. They have all guards that can switch out on the perimeter. Isaiah Hartenstein, Chet Holmgren, even the bigs can switch out. So what they do is they understand that this is a pick and roll that's problematic. Even all the way up beyond the three-point line, they double team. Isaiah Hartenstein is jumping out. He's guarding Draymond. He's jumping out on Steph. Who is protecting him right there? Alex Caruso. If Draymond gets the ball from Steph, and Steph passes to Draymond where he does a lot of his damage, Caruso is right there, and he jumps in front of Draymond to stop him and stop his forward momentum. Now he can't create shots for other guys. Draymond was trying to force some passes tonight. I thought the Warriors offense could have done a better job of taking advantage of the double team. They did not. Draymond wasn't able to get those passes going, and so the offense was just clunky all night. That was one of the examples of it.
I could tell that Draymond was getting frustrated with not being able to blow up what they wanted to do in the same way that they were blowing up what the Warriors were doing. This is what Draymond usually tips his cap on. I know what you're going to do next, and I'm going to find a way to layer the next action to make it look silly that you attempted to try to blow this up. And we didn't see enough of that. Once it got disrupted, whether the pick and roll with Steph got disrupted, there wasn't the next thing, and they weren't adjusting on the next play. I don't know if that's strictly on Draymond, if that's something that's in the huddle that you got to discuss, but that's where Draymond is genius, to be able to make those adjustments, and that's what you would have loved to see a little bit more out of, even if he's not taking those shots.
Right. 1 of 4 tonight. We're going to hear from Day as the Warriors didn't have any force defensively. Here's what the defensive captain had to say about tonight's loss.
Yeah, we got outplayed for sure. They played much harder.
When that happens, what do you do collectively to get it going?
You got to fight your way out of it, you know. Anytime you hit a little rut in this league, it'll never be easy. It'll never be pretty getting out of it. You got to claw your way out. And right now, that's not the identity of this team.
In your losses, you guys are turnover numbers. Is that the biggest issue right now?
It's definitely an issue. But they had 20 turnovers too. And they beat us by 30. So it's a lot more issues than just that.
What do you think is the biggest difference between the way you ended last season once Jimmy got here and what's going on right now?
I think everybody was committed to winning and doing that any way possible. And right now, it doesn't feel that way.
I mean, is that personal agenda type stuff, or like, you know, I mean, I guess how would you kind of?
I think everyone has a personal agenda in this league, but you have to make those personal agenda work in the team confines. And if it doesn't work, then you kind of got to get rid of your agenda, or eventually the agenda is the cause of someone getting rid of you. And so, you know, I think you don't want a team with no personal agendas, because a goal is an agenda, you know? And so you got to have some type of personal agenda. But like I said, you got your personal agenda must fit into the confines of the team.
Show up on work.
What do you mean?
Like the not lack of commitment to win.
getting your ass kicked by 30 shows up fast. So, yeah, it shows up really fast when you get whooped like we got whooped tonight. So, yeah.
Draymond. These Thunder's trying to do what you guys did. Win a title with young core, promising future, and then you guys built on it, multiple championships, decade-long contention. Besides having just great players, what's the key to making sure that what you guys got done got done?
You have to like each other, which you can tell they love each other, which leads to all the magic. And you have to understand roles, which they definitely understand their roles. They got their top dog, they got their number two. Everybody come in, they know their role. From Shea, no disrespect, tonight was the first time I seen 23. To Brooks, everyone knows their role. And that's the way it has to be in order to win in this league. And they're doing that, man. They are a well-oiled machine. They kind of just plug and play, which is, how we were during those times, So it was very interesting to watch. But, when you have a leader that has that commitment to excellence day in and day out that Shea does, everyone else has to fall in line. And they're doing that, and it's special to watch.